How we doing, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the B Team. We got Mike over there. We got Muller over here. We're in person. We're in the studio. We're in the basement, basically. Mike, how you doing?
Good, man. How are you?
Good.
Another day, alive. Another football week down the drain.
Yep. Always blessed to be able to watch Dak Prescott play football. It's always a great thing. Always a great day. You know, I want to say congratulations real quick to all the Eagles fans. I'm glad. I'm happy for them that they were able to see a quarterback perform to the level of an NFL quarterback this week. 3 touchdowns from Jalen Hurts. They let him throw the football. Training wheels have come off for him. Very good. 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. The only problem with it is that Dak Prescott also did it for like the 10th time. But no, we don't have to talk about that. Let's get into some of the games here. It was a really fun week. Starting off with Thursday night, where my mortal loss. I had the Steelers at -5.5. Brutal. I forgot that Cleveland nuked their own division. I forgot about that. I forgot how great Joe Flacco is, how tight that spiral is. And I think we all forgot how the Bengals offense is probably top 3 loaded offenses in the league. And if you put a competent quarterback back there named Joe, they're just unstoppable.
Is that the recipe for success? Just get someone named Joe
to
play quarterback?
Yeah. I think we posted it like right after the game. When they have a quarterback named Joe, they win at like a 75% clip. Anyone else below 500.
It's funny because a guy like Joe Flacco he's turning into like a Fitzpatrick, and what's that one other quarterback's name? His last name is Johnson. He has played for at least half of the teams in the league. Flacco is on that same trajectory, and he does well for each team. You know, obviously with the Browns, he started, wasn't the best early on in the season, but listen, you give him some weapons. The line did a great job against Pittsburgh, but man, I think Jamar Chase had almost 20 targets.
Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah.
The dude could throw a football. He's one of those guys, if you could just protect him, like a Jared Goff, if you could just protect him and you have a pocket passer there, he's going to make the throws. He's got the weapons to do it. The Old Man Bowl, I guess is what they're calling it. But what a game. What a wild game watching these old quarterbacks go crazy, essentially.
It was an awesome game. I mean, it finished 33-31. I mean, Steelers came all the way back for Joe Flacco to just absolutely curb stomp them at the end. I mean, he threw the ball 47 times. He went 31-47, 342 yards, and 3 touchdowns, no interceptions.
But hey, you have to. He's got to throw 47 times. You look at all these other guys, like, Jalen Hurts, for example. Justin Fields, Drake May. There are designed run plays for these guys. But with Flacco, clearly he can't run. He has to throw it 40 to 50 times every single week.
Let's not go there, Mike. Did you see the read option he ran?
Yes.
That was impressive. That was impressive. No one in that stadium, no one on that defense saw it coming. I think they were as surprised as all of us to see old man Flacco sprinting through what I think it was the A gap. I think he ran straight through. It was crazy. I don't even know how there was enough space for him to run through it. But, impressive from him. Jamar Chase had 23 targets, 16 receptions, 161 yards, and a touchdown. T. Higgins,
also a good game.
This is what happens when you have a really good quarterback playing. You look at Jalen Hurts. He throws to 2 guys. Dak Prescott throws to 2 guys. Right? And I'm only saying them because we started the show off with them, and I want to keep giving them their flowers here because they actually played well. Joe Flacco force-fed T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. And that's just what he has to do.
Yeah.
If they're in double coverage, the other one's got to be open. Force feed it to him. They double cover, force feed the other guy. And I honestly think the Bengals season is completely back on.
So do I.
Completely back on. And Joe Flacco is good enough to play in this offense to get him into the playoffs. And if he has to keep playing, I could see them continuing to win some playoff games.
Look at Cleveland. Remember, was it Cleveland 2 years ago? He played for the Browns. I think he was throwing at least 3 games. I think he played 5 games or 6 games for the Browns. Got them into the playoffs. Lost in the first round of Houston. C.J. Stroud's rookie year. He was at least throwing for almost 300 yards. I think 3 out of those 5 games.
Yeah.
He can do it. Joe Flacco can do it. He is still a professional. Is he a Hall of Famer? We'll get to that road when it comes because the longevity is there. He does have a Super Bowl. And he's still putting up numbers at 41, 42 years old, 40 years old.
Yep.
I think they brought in Jake Browning. what his story and how he reacted when the Vikings caught him, blah blah blah. But for me, it was always either get a guy like Jameis, who's good again, similar type of quarterback, is going to let loose, is going to throw the ball, is going to take risks,
yes,
and is going to target guys like Jamar and T. Higgins. Joe Flacco and him are very, very similar in the way they play. So kudos to the Cincy getting him. And that was a game that Pittsburgh kind of had to win, because that they win that game, the division's kind of out of reach. Now they're keeping these teams hanging around a little bit. I think the Bengals are a game back behind them. The Ravens still a lot to see from them, and the Browns, just playing for wins, playing for chemistry, and they'll find their way. But yeah, great game. Great game. The Steelers should have won it. That was a much needed win, but let him hang around, and got to give credit to Cincy.
No, 100%. I'm actually interested to see how they do in this stretch of, they go Baltimore, Bills, Baltimore, and they have the Patriots mixed in there as well. So they don't have the easiest schedule down the stretch. I mean, they have the Jets and Bears this week coming up, the next 2 weeks coming up, which, for all intents and purposes, I mean, those should be 2 wins for this team. Shouldn't even be games, especially this week. No offense, Mike.
And the Bears too?
They have both games are at home. I just think, can either of those teams keep up with the scoring that this team's going to do? Probably not. Then they have the Steelers again. They go Patriots, Ravens. They have a tough schedule down the stretch. I don't know. Is Joe Flacco going to be able to keep his legs going? All he's got to do is feed these guys.
That's it.
He's got a good run game. Chase Brown actually had a good game. First game, breakout game of the year. So
now they have to adjust. I think Cincy, when you win a game like that, a Thursday night game against your division rival, who is essentially first in the division, you got to start believing again. That's not a game where you're kind of just going through the motions of like, hey, like good win, like you got to start believing that we can actually do it. Hey, we just beat the number 1 team in our division right now. We know we're a good team. We just don't have our starting quarterback. If they start believing, they start executing, and the defense starts playing better. Listen, again, they're the same defense we saw from last year, maybe a tad better, but they have the guy that can do it. Protect him, believe, and start feeding Chase Brown a little bit more. It was good to see him back in action.
Yeah, 100%. All right, let's move on, because we had one of the greatest collapses of all time.
Yeah.
Of all time. So the Giants lost to Denver 33-32. Week 7 collapse at Mile High. I mean, we may never see a collapse like this again in our lifetime. We might, probably won't. I mean, they were up 19-0 entering the fourth. They lost the fourth quarter 33-13.
I think
it's bad.
When they're leading by at least 18 plus points with, I think it was like 4 or 5 minutes left. Teams are 1,602 and 0. Yep. They are now 1,602 and 1.
Mike, they were up 26-8 with under 6 minutes left. 26-8.
Like, my thing is Dable. Like, number one, I'm going to start out this. You found your quarterback. Congratulations. The Giants have found their quarterback. He is the absolute truth. Why not use the guy who is going to have CT in less than a year and just run the ball to run the clock out? Yes, you got about 5 or 6 minutes left. You want to just milk the clock at that point. You're in Denver, home game. Just run it out. Have Jackson Dart made a bad pick. Okay, I'll give Denver's defense credit for that. But with 4 minutes left, it was still a 2-possession game. And dude, it's 4 minutes left. I understand you got to get first downs. You got to throw it at some point, but they were passing on a majority of those downs in those last couple possessions. Like, David, what are we doing here, man?
I think they were passing on third down a lot, which I get it. You're trying to get a first down, keep that thing going. At the same time, probably just run the ball. And, how much time did the Broncos have at the end of the game? It was 42 seconds. Grant, make the field goals and none of this happens. But you run the ball. They probably got 20 seconds left. There's no way they get in the field goal range the way they did. It's another thing. It's New York. Yeah, it's New York. You look at the Jets. We were talking about it off the air. We're not going to talk about the Jets, but we're going to mention them right here. They just make a bonehead play every single week. They make, there's one drive that you look at it and you're like, what the hell are we doing out there? And the Giants, in the 2 minutes that ended the game, it was just a lot of like, what are we doing? Why are we not running the football? How are we missing multiple extra points? Where if you make one, this is in overtime.
Yeah, and you make
both.
The game,
you win the game.
Touchdown. They have to score a touchdown. My thing is,
man,
when you have that much time left on the clock and you're up by that many points. In my opinion, I think Dable overplayed his hand. You know, he got a little too over aggressive, overplayed his hand. I give him a little. I'll give him a slap on the wrist for actually trusting Jackson Dart to throw the ball because he was excellent. He was absolutely excellent besides that one pick. But your mindset has to switch where with that much time left, just get first downs. You don't have to throw a bomb to Jalen Hyatt. You just have to find a way to move the chains. And they just did not do that. And for some reason, I don't know why they did not do that. It cost them the game.
Yeah.
And, that final possession where Bo Nix, hey, shout out to them because they're playing a lot better. Bo Nix he was struggling early on in the year. Made a hell of a play to Cortland Sutton. Great grab by him, which pretty much sealed the game. You're going to trot Will Lutz out there, and he's going to make that kick.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. They overplayed their hand. Sean, you got to give them credit. And, hey, they honored DT that day. That was a win for him, man.
Never a doubt.
Never
a doubt.
A doubt. If you know, you know. Never a doubt. RIP DT, one of the great Broncos receivers that we've seen. That game was for him. That was an emotional win for them. And
100%.
Especially for a lot of those guys on that team, Cortland Sutton, I'm pretty sure played with him when he was a rookie, and Garrett Bowles is another guy. But yeah.
No, it was a crazy game, and obviously I told you I was watching in a full house of Giants fans. I had to watch the Dallas game on my computer. So that was always a good time when I asked to get the game switched on the TV when the Giants were up by like 25 or whatever it was. And I got told no because they wanted to cherish this moment. Yeah, fuck that. I started cheering for the Broncos heavy. I was riding Bo Nix like to the moon. We were taking Bo Zempic out there.
Pause.
What, Bozempic?
No.
Ryan to the moon. Yeah. I mean, like B team to the moon. Yeah, fuck you. All right. Well, the Broncos are 3-0 now at home, and they have the Dallas Cowboys at home next week, so that's going to change. They're not going to know what to do playing this Giants defense and then having to play Dallas. They're going to be so open when they play offense that they might fuck up, and Dallas might get some stops. Dallas's defense did look better this week, but we're not going to talk about that. We said we wouldn't talk about Dallas. We wouldn't talk about the Jets. We've already mentioned them both. I want to get into Miami.
Sure.
Bad.
Shit show.
Bad.
We always knew they were a shit show.
But my question for you is, who deserves more of the blame? Is it Grier?
Yeah.
Is it McDaniel?
Chris Grier.
Is it Tua?
Chris Grier. Chris Grier deserves all of the blame. Michael McDaniel. That's funny. It's weird. I said Mike McDaniel. Shout out to McDaniel.
I mean, his name probably is Michael McDaniel.
It is Michael McDaniel, but it doesn't. There's Mike McDaniel, coach of the Dolphins, and there's Michael McDaniel, good friend.
Gotcha.
Shout out to McDaniel. But Mike McDaniel is at least trying to make something happen with, Achane and Waddle. Listen, Tua just had an absolute atrocity of a game.
Yeah.
But Chris Grier is the main culprit. It is at the highest level for this organization. Stephen Ross, Chris Grier. Chris Grier did not set this team up for success. He brought in those guys. He brought in Reek. He drafted Waddle. He drafted Achane. Shout out to him. But he did nothing for the offensive line. The defense is still susceptible to a lot of plays. They have no juice. But listen, I'm not going to let Mike McDaniel off the hook because he's losing that locker room. He is a smarter Adam Gase. He cannot control a locker room just by his persona and how he kind of carries himself. That's a big no-no, and that is something Miami is missing. At least Anthony Weaver has that a little bit. And, the defense has looked a little bit better. I actually give him a little credit. Their defense has looked better, but that run game that Cleveland showed, Quinshon Judkins just ran all over that defense. That was all they had to do because Quinshon is healthy. Dylan Gabriel's still trying to get a feel for it. Who also, a lot of people are giving him hate. He has looked better and better each week, and he's throwing the ball a lot too. But man, Miami, they're gonna have a top 5 pick just like us. They are gonna. they're going to have a top 5 pick, and they have a lot of decisions to make because what are you going to do with Tua? Personally, I don't think he's the guy. I don't. I think with the injury history, and again, I said this with the Steelers. We said this with the Steelers. Sometimes there is always, you need a change. We said that with Tomlin. Yes, they have kept him, but Miami needs a big change. And I think with the Tua experiment, just has not worked out. It really hasn't.
Well, I want to start with Will Grier because, or not Will Grier. Yeah, Will Grier is a great quarterback. Love Will Grier. Chris Grier. This whole downfall began when he misread the entire season last year. Yeah, they were 11-6 or whatever they were, but it wasn't an impressive 11-6, right? So he goes out and hands Tua a 4-year, $212 million deal to a guy who has severe health issues on and off the field with his brain. That thing's got to be mush. Mm-hmm. And, he looks at the defense, and he's calling this defense special in the offseason. The only thing special about this defense is that they can't figure out where the quarterback is. They rank last place in sacks. Their secondary sucks. They get run through constantly. I said last week that the Cowboys were the Bonnie Blue of the NFL. I was wrong. I misread this team. It's actually the Dolphins.
Oh, yeah.
It's actually the Dolphins.
Like, follow, subscribe, back to the show.
It's great. So Chris Grier, I think, is the number one culprit. He's got to go. If this team's ever going to move forward and win, Chris Grier's got to be the first one to leave. I think McDaniel is going to last at least one more season. I think it's Quinn Ewers' time. I don't want to put a lot of blame on Tua because I've said this before on this show. When quarterbacks, wide receivers, when they get this money, right, and they get paid this money, it's not their fault that the organization paid them.
Damn right.
Right? Mm-hmm. They're not the ones going out there handing themselves a blank check, writing it in, and handing it off. Right? It's the organization giving them the money. So I hate the take where people pin that deal on Tua, and that's why they say he's bad.
That
right?
The same thing.
Yes, and listen, Tua's still recovering from injuries. Let's not act like he's just fully healthy out here. He had serious injuries last year. So he's still going to be recovering this whole year. Same thing as Dak last year. So who knows? Maybe Tua shows up next year and he's back to being himself.
Now, look.
But
go ahead.
McDaniel, he's got to see that Tua is not what he was before the injuries. He's got to see the limitations that he has currently. And I don't think he's adjusted the offense. He's running the same offense that he has been running when Tua was a rookie.
Do you know why?
And it's not. He needs to change.
I think the way that Mike McDaniel has that offense run is Michael McDaniel knows that offensive line is an atrocity. So the way the offense is quick 3-step, get the ball out. And I think he has the right idea with it, but I think teams have adjusted to it because we have seen that ever since they have been together as a head coach and quarterback tandem.
Yeah.
What they are missing, and they've missed this for a while, maybe Brian Flores was the last guy to really give them that physicality. They are, like Rex Ryan even said this a while back before the season started, they're soft. They are soft. They are soft.
And who does that fall on?
That's head coach and GM. That is 100% head coach GM. You can throw Ross in there too.
Listen, when I look at that stuff, I find it very hard to pin it on the GM because, you look at Dallas and what Schottenheimer's brought to that team. And Jerry Jones, he did not change the culture there. He did not change the mentality of that team. It was Schottenheimer. You see a different energy and a different love in that locker room. Mm-hmm. Whereas McDaniel, we could look at the Dolphins, and maybe it is a different situation because it's not the owner being the GM. But McDaniel has been there long enough that he could have created a culture and had this thing rolling. And he's had the players in there that are all pros. They've won Super Bowls, right? He has the ability in the team that the culture should have been built, and it's just not there. And you see it when, you're 23rd in efficiency and you're supposed to be an offensive guru. All right, that's fine, right? But that shows us that, you're putting up numbers early and then your offense stalls out because you give up huge comebacks all the time.
At the end of the day, it's, every head coach is different. You got your guys like Mike McDaniel and Sean McVay who are very, tacticians. They know the X's and O's. They scheme up plays. They're strategists. Then you have guys like, I don't even want to use his name. Okay, my point is there are some guys, when you look for a head coach, are they going to motivate the guys around you? Are they going to be a leader amongst men? Or are they going to be a tactician? And when you hire a tactician, the Cowboys got lucky because I think Schottenheimer is a tactician, but also can lead these guys and make them believe. I don't see that a lot when it comes to these X's and O's guys or whatever. So you have to be very selective of what you're going and looking for as a GM or as an owner to, again, change the culture. And Miami, again, I don't believe Brian Flores actually embedded a culture when he was with Miami. It's just like I see McDaniel as a very good offensive coordinator. To have him go lead as the guy that he is, again, vaping on the sideline, looks like a frat guy, like he just doesn't fit that mold. And that's on Stephen Ross. That's on Chris Grier. So in my opinion, what they need to do for the future, Stephen Ross is still standing by Chris Grier, which I think is absolutely wrong.
Yeah.
It's not going to win. As long as he's there, they are not going to win. They are not going to get to a Super Bowl. At the end of the day, why do we play the NFL? To win a Super Bowl. He will not get you there. He does not know how to build the interior. That is literally 90% of the game starts on the inside. Defense and offense. And they just have not done that. And they need to make a change. They need somebody, bring a Brian Flores, bring a Saleh in, bring someone that's going to change that culture and get these guys to not be soft. They have so many decisions to make. And I really think that they're going to take a quarterback. I would not be shocked. Unless they have faith in a Zach Wilson. Unless they have faith in a Quinn Ewers. I don't think Tua is a bad quarterback, but I think this, when you have if a new regime comes in, you're going to see a lot of moving pieces.
Yeah.
A lot of moving pieces. So, yeah, they're going to have a top 3, top 5 pick like the Jets.
Yeah.
Same thing.
And it's interesting, just going back to, we've talked about culture a lot. And if you look at the last probably 4 or 5 years, the teams that have fired a coach and brought in a coach, that next season, it's very telling who went in and changed the culture first before they cared about the football and who didn't. Because they win games.
Yeah.
Look at Chicago right now.
Perfect
He's come in,
example.
changed it. And now they believe they can win.
Look at the
They
Jaguars.
believe they're supposed to win.
Same
Look
thing
at the
with the
Jags.
Jags.
Yeah. He comes in, and that offense believes they should be scoring 30 a game.
Yeah.
It's no longer we're the Jags. We can only win in London. Now they can't even win in fucking London. They can only win the U.S., but they look good. So it's very interesting. I don't know how long McDaniel's going to last. I think Grier's going to go. Grier's going to go first. He has to this year.
They don't have a choice, bro.
And
They have
then
to.
I think, McDaniel's going to be given 1 year with the new GM.
I'm bringing the Jets into this conversation. I have to do it.
Sure.
But you look at a guy like Aaron Glenn, all right? And this has nothing to do with the Jets whatsoever, but it's more so if I'm staying on the topic of head coaching and decision making, Mike Tomlin, defensive coach, leader amongst men. But you're also sacrificing the offense where you got to hire somebody in to know the offense, but that's his job. He doesn't have to worry about how practices run. He doesn't have to worry about making those decisions. Whoever is there, that's what they have to worry about. I think Mike McDaniel could excel in that role.
Yeah.
Todd Bowles was the same way. But a guy like Aaron Glenn, they brought him in because number one, he used to play for the Jets. Number two, he was almost 0-16 Jets.
Yeah.
They brought when he played for Detroit, terrible for years. Dan Campbell comes in, they have that one bad year, and then they start winning and winning and winning. So I just think there's two type of coaches like that. I think Aaron Glenn is the same, tries to be a leader amongst men. Unfortunately, it's just the Jets, and they are an absolute shit show. But Miami, all in all, Miami has to just take that into consideration because they need something to, and I think it will help them because I don't think their offense is. They have the players. I've said this so many times. They have good weapons. They just need to be more physical up front, and they need better players, essentially. So they have, again, a lot of decisions to make. I don't think they're a bad team, but they just don't have the juice.
Yeah, I agree. So it'll be interesting. They're 1-6. They're 0-4 on the road. So that's something we've known about the Dolphins. They suck on the road, which also goes back to culture. They got the Falcons this week, away at the Falcons.
You know who else is good for
I
the
think
culture?
they're going to lose by 30.
They might. They might. You know who's also good for the culture? Look at Shane Steichen and the Colts. Look at him reviving Danny Dimes' career. You know, Ballard, signs him. Shane Steichen's got these guys right. They are now, 6-1? They're going to be 7-1 hopefully next week. Chargers, same thing. Brandon Staley, terrible. They bring in Jim Harbaugh, and they're looking like a very good team. Good game. That's a good team, Indianapolis team on that other side. But, again, it really, at the end of the day, it comes down to just hiring the right people and finding the quarterback. And teams have struggled with that. The Jets have struggled with that. The Giants have struggled with that. Miami has struggled with that. Arizona has struggled with that. The Saints, it really stops. It starts from top to bottom, man. And if you don't have that part right up here, you got your players and then your front office. If that's a shit show, it will be, and it's going to be for a while. I mean, look at the Jets, bro. Look at the Jets.
All right, let's run a quick. I like doing this. I'm just gonna read off their schedule and just say win or loss, and we'll see. Yeah, I'll keep track of it down here.
All right,
and we'll just see what their record's going to be at the end.
All
right. So keep in mind they are 1-6 with losses to the Colts, Patriots, Bills, Panthers, Chargers, blown out by the Browns last week.
Yeah.
All right, and no changes. No changes. Quinn Ewers did play last week. All right, Falcons away.
That's a loss.
Home against the Ravens.
Pending Lamar, I'll give them the L.
Home against the Bills.
L.
Home against the Commanders.
I'll give them the dub.
Home against the Saints.
Loss.
At the Jets.
Win.
At the Steelers.
Loss.
Versus the Bengals.
Loss.
Versus the Bucks.
Loss.
At Patriots.
Loss.
Yeah, so they're gonna have 3 wins in the season. So yeah, this team is absolutely they're dog shit. I mean, they're gonna finish probably 1 win ahead of the Jets, maybe 2. You guys won't go in 17.
I don't know. Dude.
I know you say I don't know, but you know how hard that is.
I don't want to win a game.
It's hard.
Let them go 0-17.
I'll say this right now: it's harder to go 0-17 than it is to go 17-0 or 16-0, whatever the fuck it is now.
That's true.
I'll say that right now. It 100% is.
Yep.
All right, let's move on here. So the return of Rashee Rice. If we remember back in preseason, I said something on this show, and you somewhat agreed with me that if this guy came back, there was a chance he could win Comeback Player of the Year. And it would be the funniest Comeback Player of the Year because you have 2 options on what he's coming back from. It's either he's coming back from the knee injury when Patrick Mahomes tore his ACL for him, or he's coming back from hitting an old lady's car, racing his Lamborghini on the highway, and running. Either way, this guy played so good this week and changed the trajectory of this Chiefs team and how people are going to view them for the remainder of the season.
Absolutely.
They are Super Bowl favorites right now. Their offense is now they are projected, I think it's top 3 in efficiency on offense, and they're already loaded on defense. I think they're second in the league in points allowed per game. I'll have to go check that again. But just putting one guy into this team has absolutely changed the way that Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes are going to operate the rest of the year. I mean, the Chiefs are just back. They're back. They're going to end up winning their division by a mile, and they're going to end up winning the 1 seed probably by a game or 2.
Yeah.
Especially with the way that the AFC East is going, because the Bills are not locked in to just have like 2 or 3 losses. Especially with the way that New England's playing, especially with the way that, the Jets are feisty, but they suck. They'll probably not lose to the Jets. But the Dolphins, no one knows what's happening there. If they let's say they get hot at the end of the year, and the Bills all of a sudden, there's another L, Chiefs are just going to be sitting there like, yep, thank you, everyone come to Chiefs Kingdom again, try and beat us.
Damn right. Yeah, I agree.
It's crazy.
We knew this too because they were so banged up. Worthy was out after week 1. Travis Kelce on the decline. Marquise Brown is really your only weapon. Once he got all those guys back, and Mahomes now, again, he's been playing lights out.
Yeah.
He was a little shaky to start the year. His last 4 games, he's been incredible. So Pat Mahomes is back. Andy Reid is back. And I know that they played the Raiders, but that's a game that could go either way. It could have been closer. There are a lot of opportunities where the Raiders had takeaways and could have just took it to the house. There's at least 4 that I counted where a ball was just in the air and the Raiders got either dropped it or just could not locate it. Like, there were multiple instances where this happened.
There was 2 fumbles from the Chiefs.
Yeah,
and they recovered none of them.
Listen, I want real quick on this game. Like, I'm not saying it was 31-0. Chiefs were a little bit sloppy. Like, they're all, like, Mahomes threw a couple right to the defenders of the Raiders, and they just dropped everything. They played a little sloppy, and the Raiders just never could have executed and come back from those mistakes.
Yes, but Mike, can I read you some stats real quick?
Sure, go ahead.
You tell me how this team is going to score points against a top 3 defense, okay? Geno Smith was 10 of 16 for 67 yards.
Awful.
67. That's a fucking nightmare for people that bet like me, where you take them at like 100 to get 100 yards. It's the fucking NFL. Just you got to figure out how to get 100 yards. What?
Did you do that? Are you still doing that?
No.
Strategy?
No.
You're done?
No.
Okay.
No. I won my money. I'm done. Ashton Genty, 6 carries. I'm not even going to tell you how many yards.
Like
the fact that he's only getting 6 carries is terrible. Over the course of a whole game, 6 carries for the guy that's supposed to be like the next coming of Barry Sanders. Come on. 6 carries? It's fucking
Brock
terrible.
Bowers isn't even playing. They're just saving him.
Brock Bowers not playing. I mean,
They need to
your
make
leading receiver is Trey Tucker with 5 receptions on 6 targets for 33 yards. Wow, that's cool. That's awesome.
Yo, don't hate on Trey Tucker, bro.
I'm
He
not.
ain't that bad.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying, like,
no, it's
when your
a
number one
disaster.
receiver is only getting 33 yards.
Yeah, it's a disaster.
Yeah, no,
Geno
this team,
it's terrible.
Yeah, it didn't matter if they had to take away or 2.
Yeah.
The way that this was bad. This is really bad.
Yeah, it was ugly. And Geno, this is probably the worst he's ever looked in his career. They just need, at that point, you're not gonna win. It's over. Like, start playing guys that you have. You know, okay. What'd you say? Make a trade for Shedeur Sanders? Maybe.
Yeah. I mean, the problem.
Do something.
They could bring Shedeur in because he's probably friends with Kenny Pickett.
Do something.
Kenny Pickett played 3. He had two throws, completed both.
Do something.
Get Shedeur. Shedeur would look great in a Raiders uniform.
He would.
And it's very obvious that Dylan Gabriel is their guy. I think he's looked very good the last 2 weeks. He's just going to keep getting more comfortable, especially
Solid
as they
player.
continue to get an offense around him. The defense is always solid there. I think the Raiders would be a great spot. I said this a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
The Raiders should be calling them every single day until they give them Shedeur.
I just, when it comes to fantasy, fucking that team is, you just stay away. You draft Brock and Genty and hope for the best. Man, it's been a lot worse than we anticipated.
Yeah.
Like, you thought, Pete Carroll comes in and, with his track record and how he's done over his career being a coach, you expected at least 6 or 7 wins, correct?
Yes.
Geno, how he looked in Seattle, you expected something. Man, it has been an absolute shit show.
Yeah.
Shit show.
It has.
Like,
it has.
Jamal Adams plays for the Raiders. Do you know that? Jamal Adams had a sack against the Chiefs, sacked Mahomes, and I'm like, man, that guy used to be so good for the Jets.
And Mike, what's crazy is I'm looking at their schedule right now, and I really don't see another win.
Yeah.
I really don't. You want to do it with this team?
Sure.
All right, ready?
But real quick, like how you said how Miami, we don't know what they are. They can get hot at the end of the year. I think that's the Raiders. I think the Raiders are, if not more, of that type of team, because if Geno actually plays well, I mean, listen, they suck. I'm not saying they're good, but like, they can pull out wins regardless.
Let me read this schedule to you. All right, now keep in mind we're talking about the Raiders here, but before we get into this, I want to go back to something you said about Pete Carroll. They brought him in. We thought he was going to do better. We did say in the summer he is a caretaker manager right now. Like he's placed in there until they can find their head coach. You know what I mean? Like he's probably they're like, all right, we can trust Pete Carroll to get us a few wins, make us respectable. I know this game was not very respectable, but he can get you over the line and keep you in games. Make it seem like you guys have a chance. Yeah, absolutely. I thought it was
the clock.
Let the other team take knees and don't get anyone injured from the 3-minute mark down. I thought that was very respectable. That was awesome. That was amazing.
I respected the shit out of that.
Absolutely.
You're not winning.
No, that game is done. Why are we going to play? Let's not play more snaps than we need to.
We're not going to stat pad, all right?
Yeah. Oh, Jesus. All right. Schedule. You ready for this?
Yeah.
All right. So they have 2 wins on the season right now.
There's a lot of shitty teams.
Jags.
That's an L.
Broncos.
L.
Cowboys.
L.
Browns.
L.
Chargers.
Okay, they're going to win against the Browns. They'll lose against the Chargers.
Broncos.
L.
Eagles.
L.
Texans.
L.
Giants.
Win.
Wow. Really?
Yeah. I'm telling you, they're gonna,
I do not agree with that
They're
one.
going to pull out a random win somewhere. I'm telling
Fair
you.
play. Fair play. But that's going to be a Scatabo coming home game.
Oh, jeez. Nah.
Did you? By the way, we
Bills.
didn't touch on this. Oh, and then the Chiefs.
No.
All right. Yeah, we didn't touch on this, but Scatabo, did you see him he was already in the end zone, and he rammed his head helmet to helmet into the guy? He was already in the end zone. It was a touchdown already.
Listen, don't stop at Scatabo. Just go. Just do what you're doing.
It's crazy.
Let
It's
him
crazy.
just-
I
let
love
him
it.
cook.
I love it.
The Giants needed that so bad. I don't want to get in the room.
No, we don't have to retract here. But yeah, so going back to this, the Raiders suck. They're gonna have what I say. So they have 2 wins already. They're gonna have 4 wins.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
What happened?
That's pretty good. So they'll be 1 win better than the Dolphins,
And 4 wins better.
4
than
wins
the
better
Jets.
than the Jets.
Yeah.
3 wins.
Okay, like I know that there have been, every single year there have been shitty teams, maybe a couple, but like there are a lot of shitty teams this year, which it doesn't make sense to me.
But is it
The
because
Saints, the Jets, the Raiders, the Dolphins, the Browns, the Cardinals, shit.
I don't think the Browns are shit.
I don't think so.
I
either,
think
but
they
their
were.
record
I
is
think
showing.
they were worse early on. I think now that they have Dylan Gabriel playing, the expectations have dropped a bit, so they don't seem as shit as they are.
Now it's just like, let's see what we got.
Yeah.
Give Quinshawn the ball and let Dylan Gabriel figure out how to run
Yeah.
this offense. Agreed.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's the teams that are good, like the offenses that are really good, so it makes the bad ones look really bad, and the defenses that are really good make the bad ones look really bad. I don't know if there's just been like it's spread out.
That's what I was gonna say. I think
Yeah.
over like the last 2 years, I feel like the gap has closed on team. Okay, like there's always the Eagles, the Bills, the Chiefs, the Ravens, the Rams or whatnot, San Francisco. Like it's just really been those teams. Now it is flipped. Like the whole script is flipped. Look at the AFC. Chargers, Jaguars, Colts, Broncos, the Patriots. NFC, same type of ordeal here. Lions, the Bears are kind of making moves. They're over 500. Carolina is 4-3.
Yep,
Atlanta still is.
they're in the mix,
They're
3-3.
They're in the mix. They're in the hunt. But the Seattle Seahawks, another one. The Rams, the Niners are still winning. The gap is shortening for a lot of these top guys. The Bills are tied for first with the Patriots right now. So
Yeah, before we get into that, just because you just said the Carolina Panthers are 4-3, can we go back to my pinned tweet here, which I pronounced dead 3 weeks ago?
you did.
Dude, we are more alive than ever. The Panthers might actually win this division. I know the Bucks are really good, but they're injured.
They're hot.
They're injured, and the Panthers look really good right now. The Panthers have the Bucks next week. No, they just played. No, Bucks have the Saints.
Yes.
I think Panthers have them next week.
Panthers have is it Atlanta that they have? Maybe? No.
No, Miami's.
I don't know.
Atlanta. I don't know.
know.
It does not matter. Bryce Young and the Panthers are rolling. They're on the prowl, as some might say. Panthers. That was a good reference. Come on, give me that.
Sir Purr, baby.
Yeah, purr.
Sir Purr. Sir Purr. What did Robbie Anderson say that one time? I forget. Robbie Anderson catching balls for the Commanders, by the way. Oh,
Yeah,
so fun to see.
Got locked up by Duran, but that's okay.
He did. What was I going to say?
Marshawn Lattimore looked horrible, dude. I felt bad for him. I thought that dude was going to cry. But imagine it being in his shoes and you're having to cover. You think, oh, my side's safe now because CeeDee Lamb's on the other side. And you just got George Pickens, who's still the funniest guy in the league.
So
Did you see when he got tackled and they were laying on him and he started just flailing? No. Dude, it was so funny. He got up like this, stands up, and went like that, and then
Always a square up.
he went.
Yeah.
Like, it was so funny. And then he brought it into a first down thing. It was awesome. I love him. I love him.
I do love George Pickens too, and seeing him break out like he is now, like he was clearly unhappy in Pittsburgh, and
Yeah. Well, think about it. The whole fan base, the organization's putting out stuff saying that you're immature and that you're a cancer. And then you come down to Dallas and it's just the complete opposite of that.
You're beloved.
You're loved.
Like, almost key to the city, like CD.
Mike, every single account is waiting for this, like Twitter accounts, the big ones for the Cowboys. They're all waiting for Jerry Jones just to give that guy a deal. and then they're all going to have his jersey. I see it after every game. They're like, I am hesitant to get his jersey only because I want to make sure he's a Cowboy next year.
Signed.
Yeah. So, I mean,
sign
everyone...
him. You have to.
You have to.
It's a must.
Look at the way this offense is going right now.
Different.
Sign him, load up on the defense. All right, let's move on. Patriots and the Bills. This is your division. I'm going to give you the floor here. But listen, the Patriots don't have the easiest schedule coming down the stretch. The Bills have the easiest schedule in the league this year. Who do you think is going to win the AFC East? Because I still think New England is going to bring this down to the final day. But it's just hard for me to look at the Bills' schedule and say they're not going to run away with this thing.
Like, part of me is like 60%. I'm leaning 60% on New England. And the reason I am is because they're only getting healthier. And Drake May is really starting to look like he's a franchise for a long time for that organization. But, you know, you cling on to the Bills because you just know that they are still so good. And they're going through a rut right now. And, you know, I believe they have a bye this week.
Yes.
Maybe after the bye, they'll start to, you know, click again. But it's tough, man. The Patriots, I'm going to say Buffalo. I know they're tied, but I'm just going to take the better quarterback at the moment. And, you know, with the more experience. You know, Drake May has looked great. Again, that is nothing on Drake May. But I'm just going to take experience over, you know, what we've seen in New England, and what they're doing has been phenomenal in New England. You know, shout out to I keep picking them; they keep winning for me. So I'm just going to keep rolling with the Patriots. But the Bills, Josh Allen they're going to figure it out. I don't see how they don't. But the Patriots are hanging right there.
Yeah,
they really are. That offense, Kayshon Boutte, one of those guys who was a projected first-round pick, and
for a dumb reason.
Yes, that too.
Really dumb reason.
Just gambling scandal again.
Yeah, stupid reason.
Stephon Diggs isn't even the wide receiver one. He's just there. He's like D-Hop now. Mm-hmm. Hunter Henry's there. My thing is, please feed Travion Henderson the ball more, because you drafted a guy who was electric out of Ohio State, and you're giving the third-string running back more touches than Travion Henderson. That needs to stop. He's too good of a guy to just be sitting there getting 2 carries in a game. Please feed him, because he is that electric. Ramondre Stevenson also has been playing good, but, man, I give a lot of credit to Drake May. Such a weird quarterback to watch because he looks like he throws in slow motion. I don't know if you've noticed this.
It's like Tom Brady.
No, because Brady at least would get the ball out quick. Like, Drake May.
Oh, you're saying he really moves in slow motion?
For real.
Okay.
Like molasses. Like, the way he loads up to throw the ball, it just looks so slow, but he's accurate, and he hits his receivers in stride. He's a good runner. If Vrabel's got those boys buzzing for real. But all in all, I'm going to give Buffalo the division still. I think the Patriots are good. They're going to finish over 500, and they're going to have a top wildcard spot. Yeah.
No, I agree with you. And, you know, I look at the schedules. Buffalo has a lot of big games coming up. They're all at home. Mm-hmm. New England, against the bigger opponents, they're all on the road. And I think that experience and, you know, having that comfortability of being at home for the Bills is going to play a part in this down the stretch. I think Josh Allen, he's been there. He's done that. He knows that he runs this division now. He is the new Tom Brady of that division. He'll get it done. In the end, he'll get it done. He'll find a way. And, you know, New England's still going to make the playoffs, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
They'll still make it as a wild card. And, you know, they're good enough where they could win a game, win 2 games maybe. I mean, if they get paired up with Buffalo in the next round, that's going to be a very good matchup.
Yeah,
I mean,
will not be a blowout.
Divisional matchups are always sketchy.
Yep.
So.
It will not be a blowout.
Absolutely. So, hey, before we get into our morals, we have another top 10. So, Mikey, top 10 of the quarterbacks, his top 10 quarterbacks in the league after 7 weeks. Kind of funny that we have it at 7 weeks now because we missed a week, but that's all right. 7 weeks.
So, I got a lot of shit on my last list. That list was so spot on. And, of course, Philly fans are going to just lose their mind because, Jalen Hurts at number 9. Bro, look at Jalen Hurts lost to the Giants at an absolute blowout. This isn't a bash Jalen Hurts, okay? But that list was very, very, very spot on. Yes, it has moved. There are a lot of changes I've made. Why I say that is because, you know, where do you put guys like Lamar Jackson? Where do you now put Josh Allen after those last 2 weeks? So I'm going to start from 10 to 1. Again, this is for right now what I am noticing in the last 6 to 7 weeks of football. This is my top 10. Number 10, I have Justin Herbert there. He still, throws a pretty ball. At least try to come back against the Colts. I think he's fed his receivers for, them having essentially 3 number 1 receivers. I'll throw QJ as a number 1 receiver and Keenan Allen. Might be a little bit of a stretch, but he at least is distributing the ball a lot for those guys. They do have a backup running back. They are not fully healthy. Obviously, Joe Alt got hurt too, so everything is going to change. Rashawn Slater, I believe, is out again. Not having Omari and Hampton there to really, expand the offense. I'm going to give Herbert the 10 spot. Number 9, he's probably just going to hang around here for the rest of the season. Jared Goff, still. Jared Goff, number 9, he just gets it done. He works in that system. Also very accurate, finds his guys, very good in the pocket. Also, that game where I think it was against the Chiefs where he caught that ball and scored as a touchdown. Man, a lot of people got screwed there. He deserved that touchdown. But I got Jared Goff at 9. He is a top 10 quarterback. You argue with a wall. He's a top 10 guy. 8, Danny Dimes is now going to be in the top 10. I think he absolutely deserves it. They're 6-1. People are calling him MVP type caliber right now. It's going to be a tough slope to climb. Go ahead.
Not Danny Dimes anymore. Indiana Jones.
I'm sorry.
Show some respect.
Yes, Indiana Jones I have at number 8. Shane Steichen, he's got him buzzing. He's got him believing again. Look at Jared Goff when he left the Rams. Detroit brings him in, rejuvenates his mental, that, hey, I believe in myself. I believe that I'm a top quarterback in this league. I think Indiana Jones, Daniel Jones, man, he has really looked, what an absolute rejuvenation of his career right there. It was a big contract.
Crazy what happens when you have an O-line.
When you have an O-line and you have weapons and you have a guy like Tyler Warren just at your disposal. And
coaching.
Jonathan Taylor, who's an MVP candidate in the backfield.
Defense.
I hear it constantly. Good defense.
Special teams.
Yeah, they're just so well run, and Daniel Jones knows what to do with the football. And listen, again, didn't have Josh Downs either. They got weapons.
A good franchise.
Good franchise, good top to bottom. Yeah, Danny Dimes, number 8. Now, I have Josh Allen at number 7. Josh Allen has fallen a little bit from number 1 to number 7. Big jump. So he didn't fall a little bit, big jump. Again, I know he's going to move up, but I think there are 6 other guys that have done a little bit better. So he'll be fine. He's going to be in the top 10 for probably the next 20 years. Number 6, I got Jalen Hurts there. He moves up from 9 to 6. I think, and this is based off his game last week. Very good passer, pretty much perfect passer rating. 3 touchdowns. Still, it's a lot to see. It's a lot. There's a lot of moving pieces in that offense. You could still see AJ Brown pissed off and being a diva. You got to take that into account at times. I'm sorry. I know me and Ethan argue about this, how much of a diva he is, but there's a reason, Look at the Giants game. Look at the game before where Jalen Hurts didn't play that well, but he had a very good game. Again, it's a very stagnant offense, though. Kevin Patullo still is they won the game, but dude, they could have blew out Minnesota. It's a good defense, but your offense is that good. Saquon still isn't getting the numbers he should get. The offense is still running the same type of out route hitches, 5-10 yards, and someone doing a go ball. It's so similar. So Jalen Hurts at least is adjusting to it and is making the throws. When he's throwing downfield, him and Smitty, the connection they had the other day was wild to see. It was great to see. But still, I got to see more from this offense. And it's not just Jalen Hurts. It's Kevin Patullo. I need to see more. Because in my opinion, that type of offense isn't going to make you win. Jalen Hurts at 6. Number 5, I have Drake May there. I have Drake May at number 5. He jumps in. He was an honorable mention. It was him and Caleb that were honorable mention. Caleb drops out. His last game he went 21 for 23, 222 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 picks. He had 2 incompletions. So he's been on fire. He's fit in his role. Drake May at number 5. Number 4, I'm still going to have Baker there, and I'm going to have him there for a reason. The dude is elite. He is an MVP candidate. He just now doesn't have Mike Evans for the rest of the year. Chris Godwin literally fighting his leg. Tez Johnson, Sterling Shepard, and another guy named Johnson. I don't know. Did they look bad against Detroit? Yes, they did. But they are so banged up, and I'm not going to make excuses. But Baker is still the guy. That is a very good Detroit team to play them in Detroit with them rolling. That is a tough game to win. Baker Mayfield is still getting it done. In my opinion, I think one of the best scramblers in the league. And it doesn't look like it, but I think he can scramble and throw on the run. The offense is perfect for him. Number 3, he drops 1. I got Stafford. He threw 5 touchdowns against the Jaguars without Puka Nacua. He threw 5 touchdowns against the Jaguars defense, who has been elite recently, without Puka Nacua. That's impressive.
Devontae Adams.
Devontae Adams, yes, still elite.
Yeah.
But one guy to throw to.
Yeah. Dominant.
Please cherish this guy until he retires because he's just putting out highlights every single week. Matty Stafford at 3. Number 2, your guy. Number 2 is Dak Prescott.
Come on now. Come on. Finally. We're coming around on this show.
Him and my number 1 have, I just gave them very similar stats. Last 4 games, 13 touchdowns, 0 picks. 13 touchdowns, 0 picks, and they're rolling. I think, in my opinion, they're the best offense in the league as we speak.
He operates the offense at an elite level.
Yes, he
Been
does.
saying
it is. He is accurate. He just knows where to go with the ball every single time he steps back. Jake Ferguson is there for him too. CeeDee Lamb is back, and seeing him score that big touchdown, man, Cowboys fans are buzzing. They're absolutely buzzing. Dak Prescott looks amazing right now. Also MVP level candidate. Number 1, big jump in, Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes, number 1, back to where he should be pretty much all the time. Again, Josh Allen at 7, he could be higher. But I think these guys have just been playing at elite level. He could be at 6 and Jalen Hurts could drop to 7. He could be at 5 and Drake May could drop to 7. Josh Allen, we're going to keep him there. He will move up. I know he will. But Mahomes, his last 4 games, 10 touchdowns, 1 pick. Last 4 weeks, he's been a top 5 quarterback overall. And now he has Rashee Rice back. They're going to win a lot of games. I don't know if they lose another one the rest of the year. So I'll go through it again. So from 1 to 10, Mahomes, Dak, Matty Stafford, Baker at 4, Drake May at 5, Jalen Hurts 6, Josh Allen at 7, 8, Danny Dimes, or Indiana Jones, 9, Jared Goff, 10, Justin Herbert.
I like it. I like it a lot. And I'm not just saying it because Dak's in the top 3, but I genuinely believe that Mahomes, Dak, and Stafford have been playing on a different level lately.
Yeah.
And I think that from 4 to 7,
Interchangeable. Absolutely.
They all could be a top 3 quarterback any week, but they also could be at the back end of the top 10 any week. And I think that's fair to say. I mean, Daniel Jones, Goff, and Herbert should probably be in that 8 to 15 range consistently. You know,
like you can even
Philly fans are going to be pissed that you put Jalen Hurts at 6, but would they rather him be 6 or 7?
You know, he should be there every time, and it doesn't matter because right now I don't see him as a top 5 quarterback.
Yeah.
But he's 6. Okay, whoop-de-doo, Basil. Like he's literally a top 6 quarterback. That's still great. But
I do like that we're getting ahead of this argument because it's going to come.
I know it is, and that's what I'm trying to. But like, he had a great game against Minnesota. The last 2 games prior, bro, you lost to the Giants in MetLife. Like, that was terrible. It was terrible. And, that defense started to see, you know, they're throwing out routes, and he got picked off, and it was just an easy way. But my only thing is Josh Allen at 7, you know, like, because again, Lamar, if Lamar played next week, he would be in the top 10 for sure. But
probably.
Josh Allen had 2 bad games, and I truly think these other guys have been playing. Like, in hindsight, Josh Allen should probably be number 5, but, you know, I got to give credit to guys like Jalen Hurts and Drake May and Baker Mayfield and Dak Prescott. Like, they've been on one. Yeah. So I like the list. I think it's correct.
Me too. So, I like it a lot.
Listen, I had a good list week 3. This list, we'll see. A lot of changes, a lot of games to be played.
Yeah. Well, we'll be back for week 10 with that. So let's get into moral locks. Let me pull this up here, the spreadsheet. Mike, you're 5-2 on the spread, 4-3 on the over-unders. I'm 5-2 on the spread as well, but I'm 5-2 on the over-unders. You've hit kind of a lull. You're due.
A little bit.
You're due for a spread here.
A little bit.
No. The big thing this week is we hit the parlay. Mm-hmm. Patriots, Cowboys, Eagles, plus 350.
Have I missed one? Parlay?
Yes. Eagles money line last week.
Correct.
Yep. Other than that, you've been perfect. Shout out to Lucas this week for going perfect on. He did the. Big ups to you. 2 weeks after we did the reverse sweep, we had an actual sweep, so that's big for the guests. They moved to 7-7 on the season. Our overall record on the show is 28-21.
It's a good record.
Mike, before we get into this, I'm going to say it again. You're undefeated on the unders.
Dude,
I know you just hit an
over.
I know you just hit an over. I'm just going to keep reminding you, keep planting that seed. All right, let's get into this. So I have the best record on the show right now by a game. So I'm going to pick first. Mike, I'll let you here. You can look at those.
I have an idea. I think I do. Go ahead.
The Philadelphia Eagles have got to come out and just put a beat down on someone. And there's no better week to do it than this week. Who do they have again?
The Giants.
The Giants.
In Philly.
And what happened when they played the Giants last time?
They got blown out.
And this game's going to be in Philly, in front of that savage crowd that they have there that pisses all over themselves at the tailgate. They're going to be peeing, puking all over themselves before this game in excitement. The Eagles are going to come out and absolutely explode. Jalen Hurts is going to have a day. I could see him having another 3 touchdowns, no interception day. I want to see Saquon rushing for 80 to 100 yards. I want to see him getting his touches. I want to see A.J. Brown getting his touches. I think they blow this team out. We're talking about a Giants team that just came off one of the most embarrassing collapses we've ever seen out there in Mile High. And now that's not an easy travel back. And they're going to have to play a 1 o'clock game in Philly now in the division. Tough. I'm taking the Eagles -7.
Over under? Or do you want me to go?
No, you can go.
Okay, so big spreads this week. You know, I see a lot of -6.5, -7.5, a couple of 3s, a couple of 3.5s, and I see 114.5 spread. Oh man! All right, I'm going to follow the storyline here. I'm going to follow the storyline. We mentioned it. You know, Demaryius Thomas, they played for him. They're home again against your boys.
Yep.
I think that is the game that's going to change the trajectory, the rest of their season. I am going to take Denver. I am going to take Denver because they are at home in Mile High.
Yep.
And that win, you know, they're not happy about that win still. They're happy, but they're not.
I don't know. I'd be pretty happy.
Yes, but the way they performed, letting, you know, the Giants come in there and kind of bitch you with Daniel Bellinger, I think they're going to come out a little bit guns blazing. It's going to be a chess match between those two coaches. I'm going to give the upper hand to Denver here. I'm going to take them with the spread.
3.5, right?
3.5.
Yep.
And why I'm doing that is because the Cowboys are rolling so much where like it's kind of a storyline fade public type of bet. Like last week they were underdogs to the Commanders.
Like, I mean, they're underdogs again.
They are, but it made no sense that they were underdogs against the Commanders. I thought that was an absolute.
I think they've been underdogs 3 weeks in a row.
Yeah, I know, and I think this is the one where Dallas is real. You know, I'm going to take it. I'm going to go against, so I'm going to take Denver here with the spread.
Yeah. I mean, I like your reasoning.
Like,
I like your reasoning.
Yeah. But they have been high. Like it's nothing on Dallas, but it's more so for Denver.
Things to think about. I'll give you one last chance.
No.
All right,
no,
because Brandon Aubrey, Mile High. He's got a leg. He might hit one from 70 this game.
He's got a leg.
So, yeah, I'm actually going to stay in this game for the over/under. I'm taking the over 49.5. You know, this defense on the Dallas side is absolutely abysmal. So Denver's everyone that plays us is basically, you could put Liberty High School out there. They're guaranteed 21 points against this team. And basically on the other side of the ball, we're guaranteed 21 as well. So I think both teams probably score more than that. The over 49.5 seems really free, almost too free, where this is going to be rigged and it's going to be like a 10 to 11 game. But yeah, give me the over 49.5 at Mile High, Dallas versus Broncos.
You can keep it. I got my under. So
like it.
I got my under. So last week you told me about my over/under record, how I'm terrible on the overs. I told you one more time I'm going to go for the over. Still sweat, by the way. It was sweaty.
It was.
Packers, Cardinals, you know, it's always really an over game. We've seen it even in the playoffs, you know, last decade. I'm going to stay with the Packers here. I'm going to take them. I'm going to take that game for the under against Pittsburgh. I think it's going to be a defensive. The Packers, the offense still is a little sketchy. Josh Jacobs back there, you know, he's an elite guy, but I think Pittsburgh's defense, and I believe it's in Pittsburgh.
It is.
They roll at home. That defense has always been good, always will be good. So I think the Packers are going to kind of hit a wall a little bit. And I also think the Packers defense in Pittsburgh, I think they'll adjust. And I think they've got some good players, especially on the D-line. You know, Mike is going to disrupt that offense a lot, especially with old man Rodgers. So I'm going to take the under in that game. I think that's a nice bet for that value. What is that, 44.5 again?
Yeah. It's a sweet spot.
I can't avoid 44.5.
Yeah, but there's like 10 games a week that are 44.5. You got the Vikings game 44.5. I mean, the Jets are 43.5. That one moved because that was 44.5, I believe.
I like the over in that game, too.
Dolphins 44.5. Giants, Eagles 43.5. It's right on that line.
Why I like the over
Packers
in that Jets game, I'm gonna give y'all a little freebie here. You know, this is like an honorable mention bet, not gonna be a lock. Why I like the over in that game is because Tyrod is most likely going to start, and he's actually going to throw the football. You know, because that's part of the game. And I think Garrett Wilson will be back too. And if Tyrod and Garrett Wilson are on the same field together, listen, I'm not talking about Tom Brady or Gronk. Okay, it's as a Jets fan, you just have to understand if Garrett Wilson is out there and someone who's going to throw the ball is out there, he's going to have a hell of a day. So I think with Cincy's defense too, force feed him. You're going to see Jamar Chase and T. Higgins getting force fed. Sauce going to have a battle. You're going to see the same with Garrett. So I like the over in that game. I actually might like the Jets to cover that too, but we'll see.
6.5.
Yeah.
All right. Give me your money line pick.
Oh, shit. Okay. Turn
You're 6-1 on the season.
Where's Fanduel?
You got to go back to, just click over there.
All right. Gotcha.
You got it.
Money line pick. Okay. So this is funky, very funky. I mean, like I would take the Colts minus 1,200, but we got to throw a little bit of value in there. Right?
If you were to take them, I would have punched you in the face.
I mean, okay. To be fair, I've been kind of taking heavy favorites. This is why my
that's
record
fine.
Is so
but we're talking like we gotta draw the line somewhere. Like minus 500's got to be the line. Anything above that,
yeah. I'll tell you this. You know, I'm going to go with a dog this week. I'm actually going to take Pittsburgh. I'm going to take Pittsburgh to win. You know, they're well rested. Thursday night game. They got a little bit extra days rest. Again, I think it's going to be a very big defensive game, and I just don't think the Packers are going to be able to overcome it. So give me Pittsburgh plus money.
I like that. Finally, someone on this show, guess Mike, someone takes a dog. I'm the one always taking a dog. Yes, I'm getting punched in the face.
You haven't, yes.
I'm going to take. See, but now you talked about the Browns. It's making me think that they might be good. I was going to take the Patriots.
Listen, the Patriots.
Now I might change my pick.
Bet. Yeah, I've taken the Patriots so much I had to kind of switch it up.
Do I take the Panthers?
Who are they playing?
The Bills.
I was going to take Buffalo, but I like Pittsburgh a lot at home. You got to just take the underdog at home.
All right, you know what? Let's not overthink this. The Jets are absolute dog shit.
Damn it.
They are horrible. Yeah. They are absolutely horrible, Mike.
It's fair because I went against the Cowboys.
I'm taking the Bengals.
Go against
I'm taking the Bengals. So before we even add in what our guest picks are, we are plus 228. That looks scrumptious right there. So, yeah, we have the Steelers and the Bengals. Oh, two AFC East teams. That's actually, when we take teams in the same divisions, we tend to win. So, yeah, I like it. Mike, you got anything else?
No, not really.
All right, me neither. Yeah, World Series happening. Not really impressed with it. Dodgers. Dodgers, Blue Jays. Shout out to David Schneider. Hope you win. Would love to see you win. Yeah, that was awesome. I really like him going bare chested in the celebrations. That's a dog right there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm cheering for Toronto.
I really
struggling to have faith.
Yeah.
When it's the Dodgers, that rotation's unreal. The lineup's unreal. I don't know.
I wanted Seattle to win because I think the season that Cal Raleigh has had, like, to see him at least get there, you know, and lose to the Dodgers in the World Series would be a little bit more, you know, fulfilling. But
yeah, it's not for everybody.
It's not for everybody.
Aaron Judge,
you know, hey, those are your AL MVP candidates right there, and it's going to be real interesting to see who the people choose.
Yep, we could
the
say
real ones know who to choose, but
yeah, Aaron Judge. I mean, he's the one that actually gets to the World Series and loses to the Dodgers. You know, so yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, that's the show. One last thing: Flyers are above the Rangers with 2 games in hand. That's sick. That's sick. Great start for the Flyers. I had zero hope in this team coming in. I'm
Rangers.
starting to
Never
believe
did.
we might make the playoffs. Tough start for your Rangers, though. I hate to hate
no
on your
faith.
teams,
I
but
had
it's just
no
working out that way right
I
now.
had no faith for them. Dude, it's gotten so bad with my teams that I'm going to tune into the Brooklyn Nets when they play. That's how bad it's gotten. Dude, I haven't watched a full basketball game in okay.
Who do the Nets have right now?
Cam Thomas. They got that dude from BYU. They have Nick Claxton. They have the dude from Michigan, Wolf, I think his last name is. They have the one dude from Israel as well. You know, chucking bombs from 3. I took that from you.
Yeah,
Stealing thunder.
that was a good one.
That's all I know. And they have a lot of role players that are decent. So,
God,
yeah.
you're going to watch like 2 games and be done with that shit. All right, yeah, let's get out of here. Mike, good stuff today. We'll see you guys. Subscribe. All right, peace.
Bye.